The text glowed mockingly on my husband's phone. Can't wait to feel your hands on me again. Last night was magical. Love you. I stared at those words until they burned into my retinas, until the screen dimmed and went dark, until my fingertips went numb from gripping the device. 20 years of marriage reduced to 12 words from someone named Olivia. My name is Valeria, and I used to write stories about other people's tragedies. Now I'm living in one. The irony wasn't lost on me. Finding out about Nathan's affair while searching for the photos he promised to send from Megan's sweet 16 party last weekend. The party where he'd given that touching speech about family being everything. The party where he'd kissed my cheek in front of everyone, calling me his rock, his foundation. Mom? Megan's voice floated up from downstairs. Have you seen Dad's phone? He's freaking out about missing it. I took a deep breath, my thumb hovering over the screen. Coming, honey! My voice didn't shake. 16 years of community theater had taught me something after all. I'd watched Nathan perfect his craft on those same stages, turning from my awkward college sweetheart into the darling of local television. The man whose car commercials played during prime time. The man who apparently needed a 28-year-old actress to feel validated. I walked downstairs, each step measured, controlled. Nathan paced in the kitchen, running his hands through his perfectly styled hair, the hair he'd started dyeing 3 months ago. Another clue I'd missed. Oh, thank God, he said, reaching for the phone. Where was it? Bedroom dresser. I handed it over, watching his face. You got a text. His fingers tightened around the phone. Most people wouldn't notice the slight tension in his jaw, the barely perceptible pause before he smiled. But I'd spent 2 decades studying Nathan Martin's expressions. I knew every micro movement of his face, the real ones and the performed ones. Probably the agency, he said smoothly, pocketing the device without checking it. They've been calling about that cable series pilot. Megan beamed at him from the breakfast bar. Dad, that's amazing. Why didn't you tell me? Nothing to tell yet, princess. Just preliminary talks. He kissed her forehead, then turned to me. Val, don't forget I have that charity event tonight. Might be late. Of course, the charity event. I wondered how many of those late nights had actually involved raising money for anything other than hotel room charges. I'll be late too, I said, surprising myself. Meeting Lucas for drinks to discuss a potential writing project. Nathan's smile flickered. Lucas Reed had been my friend since college. Before Nathan, before I gave up playwriting to support my husband's dreams. Before I became the stable income that funded his acting classes and headshots and demo reels. Lucas? I thought you'd given up writing. Apparently not. I met his gaze steadily. Things change. Megan looked between us, her forehead creasing slightly. She'd always been perceptive, our daughter. Too perceptive sometimes. I forced a smile. It's probably nothing, I added, the lie bitter on my tongue. Just catching up with an old friend. Nathan nodded, but I saw the calculation in his eyes. He was wondering if I knew, if Lucas had said something, if his carefully constructed world was about to crumble. Let him wonder. I picked up my coffee cup, hiding my expression behind the rim. 20 years ago, I wrote a play about a woman who discovered her husband's betrayal and poisoned him slowly over months. The critics called it melodramatic, unrealistic, said no one would go to such elaborate lengths for revenge. I set down my cup and smiled at my husband. Have fun at your event, darling. Break a leg. He'd taught me well, after all. The best performances are the ones where the audience never sees the knife coming. Lucas studied me from across the table at Morton's, his expression shifting from concern to something darker as I finished telling him about Nathan's text messages. Have you confronted him? He asked, swirling his scotch. What's the point? He'll just lie. I stabbed at my untouched salad. You know what he told Megan this morning? That he's being considered for a cable series pilot. Another lie to feed his ego. Actually, Lucas set down his glass. That part's true. The network's interested in him for a supporting role in my new show. The fork clattered against my plate. Of course, the universe wasn't content just letting Nathan destroy our marriage. It had to reward him too. And through my oldest friend, no less. When were you planning to tell me? Tonight, actually. But not like this. Lucas leaned forward. Val, if I'd known about Olivia. Olivia Turner, I cut in. I looked her up. She's guest starring in that medical drama you produce. Another coincidence? The silence stretched between us, heavy with 25 years of friendship and unspoken truths. Finally, Lucas pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, and slid it across the table. On the screen was a production photo. Nathan and Olivia in costume, standing too close, looking at each other with undisguised heat. They met at the callback, Lucas said quietly. I thought, I thought it was just chemistry for the camera. I pushed the phone back, my hand steady despite the rage building in my chest. How long have you known? I suspected, but how long? 3 weeks. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I was going to tell you, but Nathan swore it was over. Said it was a mistake, that he loved you and Megan too much to... My laugh cut through the restaurant's refined atmosphere, drawing stares from nearby tables. Let me guess. He gave you his sincere face. The one with the little forehead crease and the slightly trembling lip? He's been perfecting that one since college theater. Val, you know what's funny? I took a long sip of wine. This morning, I was actually grateful for all those years of watching him rehearse. It taught me how to hide what I'm feeling, how to deliver my lines just right. Lucas's expression shifted to alarm. What are you planning? Nothing dramatic. I smiled, remembering the way Nathan had kissed Megan's forehead this morning. So paternal, so pure. Just thinking about that screenplay you mentioned wanting from me. The one about family dynamics and betrayal? Valeria, his voice carried a warning. What? Isn't that what you always told me? Write what you know? I pulled out my credit card as the waiter approached. I think I finally have a story worth telling. This isn't the way... Did you know Megan's been talking about following in her father's footsteps? Wants to study drama in college. I signed the receipt with deliberate strokes. She thinks he's this brilliant artist who sacrificed everything for his craft, who deserves all this success because he worked so hard, stayed so true to his values. She deserves to keep that image of him. Does she? I met Lucas's gaze. Or does she deserve to know that success built on lies isn't success at all? What about your success? He gestured around us. The corporate job? The stable life you've built? Built on what? Suppressing my own dreams? Playing the supportive wife while he... I stopped, noticing my voice had risen again. When I continued, it was barely above a whisper. You know what Nathan said to me last week? That I was lucky he'd helped me find my true calling in corporate work, since my writing never really had that special something. Lucas's face darkened. He didn't. Oh, but he did. Right after his commercial won that local advertising award. I stood, smoothing my skirt. So yes, I think I'll write that screenplay. About a woman who discovers her husband's betrayal and decides to... Well, that would spoil the ending, wouldn't it? Val, wait. I have to go. Megan's alone at home and Nathan's at his... charity event. I picked up my purse. Thanks for dinner, Lucas. And for the inspiration. Sometimes the best stories come from unexpected places. As I walked away, I heard him call after me. What are you going to do? I didn't turn around. Let him wonder. Let them all wonder. After all, isn't that what good writing is about? Keeping your audience guessing until the final act? The Instagram account wasn't even private. That's what broke me. The sheer arrogance of it. Nathan's alternate profile filled with artsy black and white photos of Olivia in various states of carefully curated intimacy. Her hand on his chest. Their shadows merged on a wall. Her lipstick mark on a coffee cup. The timestamps mocked me. 6 months. While I was planning Megan's Sweet 16, while I was supporting his networking events, while I was playing the dutiful corporate wife, they were crafting their little visual love story. My laptop hummed as I scrolled through their digital affair. Each photo carried a pretentious caption, quotes about passion, about living authentically, about following your heart. The latest one showed Olivia's silhouette in a hotel window, posted 3 hours ago. Beauty exists in the spaces between reality and dreams. The front door clicked open downstairs. I heard Nathan's footsteps, then Megan's excited voice. Dad, you have to tell Mom about the audition. I closed the laptop, my fingers trembling slightly as I stood. Their voices drifted up the stairs. Actually, Princess, let me talk to her alone first. Adult stuff. But why don't you order that pizza we talked about? Use my card. I met them at the bottom of the stairs. Nathan's smile was bright, practiced. The same one he used in his commercials. Val, you won't believe what happened at the network meeting. Let me guess, I said, my voice steady. They loved your authentic energy. His smile flickered. How did you... That's your favorite word lately, isn't it? Authentic? I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram. Like this photo from 2 weeks ago. Authenticity is the light that guides us home. The color drained from his face. Behind him, Megan froze with her father's credit card halfway to her phone. Mom, what are you talking about? Nothing, honey, Nathan said quickly. Just some promotional materials for... For what? I turned my phone toward him. Your artistic exploration of hotel room photography? Or maybe your deep insights into shadow play with actresses half your age. Valeria, his voice dropped to that warning tone he used when he thought I was being difficult. This isn't the time or place. When is the time, Nathan? Between charity events? Between auditions? Between making our daughter believe you're something you're not? What's going on? Megan's voice cracked. Dad? He reached for her, but she stepped back. Smart girl. She'd always been able to smell a performance. It's complicated, sweetheart. Is it? I scrolled through the photos. Seems pretty simple to me. Boy meets girl, boy lies to wife, boy posts artistic evidence of affair online because he thinks he's too special for consequences. You're twisting everything, Nathan snapped. This is my art, my career. Your career? I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make them both flinch. The one I funded? The one I supported while putting my own dreams aside? That career? Mom. Megan's eyes were wide, darting between us. I was going to tell you, Nathan said, switching to his sincere voice, the one that had won him that local Emmy. After the pilot gets picked up, once things were stable, like you told Lucas, the look of shock on his face was almost worth it. Oh yes, he knew. Everyone knew except your wife and daughter. How's that for authentic? Megan's phone clattered to the floor. She ran upstairs, her door slamming seconds later. Now look what you've done, Nathan hissed. You couldn't wait? Couldn't handle this like an adult? Like you handled it, with secret accounts and artistic quotes about following your heart? I never meant to get caught? I held up my phone again. Here's my favorite caption. Sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go of the life you thought you wanted. Posted right after Megan's birthday party. While I was cleaning up the decorations you promised to help with. He reached for me, but I stepped back, just like Megan had. The gesture felt like poetry, like something I might write into a scene. Don't worry, I said, pocketing my phone. I'm taking your advice, letting go of the life I thought I wanted, starting with this marriage. Val, I'm going to check on our daughter, and then I'm going to write something authentic about a man who thought he was too special for consequences. I started up the stairs, then paused. By the way, congratulations on the pilot. Break a leg. I mean that literally. My laptop screen flickered in the darkness of my home office as I typed the opening scene. Interior, living room, night. A woman stands at the window, watching her life unravel in real time. 3 days since the Instagram revelation. 3 days of Megan barely speaking to either of us. 3 days of Nathan sleeping in the guest room, making tearful phone calls he thought I couldn't hear. A knock at my door made me jump. Mom? Megan's voice uncertain. Can I show you something? I closed the laptop. Come in, honey. She entered, clutching her phone like a shield. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her hair pulled back in a messy bun, so different from her usual carefully styled appearance. I found something else. About Dad and her. My stomach clenched. You don't have to. They're doing a play together. She thrust the phone at me. At the community theater, where you and Dad met. The casting announcement swam before my eyes. Betrayal by Harold Pinter. Leading roles, Nathan Martin and Olivia Turner. Directed by Marcus Chen, Nathan's old college roommate. Opening night is on your anniversary, Megan said quietly. Of course it was, because the universe wasn't finished teaching me about irony. Did you know? I said, setting down the phone. That's the play where your father and I had our first kiss? I was understudying the lead actress and she got food poisoning opening weekend. Mom? He said I saved the show, called it destiny. I laughed, but it came out wrong. I quit acting after that, said I preferred writing. Truth was, I knew I couldn't compete with his talent, his ambition. Stop! Megan's voice cracked. Just stop pretending you're okay. I'm not pretending. I opened my laptop again. I'm writing. She moved behind me, reading over my shoulder. Her breath caught. Is that about Dad? It's about a lot of things. I scrolled through the pages I'd written. About choices. About what happens when we build our lives around other people's dreams. He's saying it was a mistake. She sat beside me. That Olivia meant nothing. That he wants to fix things. And you believe him? I don't know what to believe anymore. She picked up a framed photo from my desk. The three of us at her middle school graduation. Everything feels fake now, like we were just acting at being a family. My phone buzzed. Lucas. Network loved your outline. Want to meet tomorrow? This could be big. Another buzz. Nathan. Please, we need to talk. About the show. About us. About everything. A third buzz. An unknown number. Hi Valeria, this is Olivia. I think we should meet. Megan watched the messages appear. What are you going to do? I looked at my screenplay. at the blinking cursor waiting for the next scene. What do you think I should do? I think. She hesitated, then squared her shoulders. I think you should finish your story, the real one. Even if it hurts people we love? Doesn't lying hurt more? She stood, suddenly looking older than her 16 years. Dad always says art should tell the truth. Let's see if he really believes that. After she left, I stared at the messages. Each one a different path, a different version of revenge or redemption. The writer in me saw the possibilities. Confront Olivia, expose Nathan, use Lucas's offer to tell my story to the world. But Megan's words echoed. Doesn't lying hurt more? I opened a new document and began to type. Interior. Theater. Night. A woman watches from the wings as her husband rehearses a play about betrayal with his mistress. But this isn't that story. This is about what happens next. About the moment she stops being an understudy in her own life. My fingers flew across the keyboard, no longer hesitating. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone else's story. It's about finally telling your own. I texted Lucas back. Meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m., bringing the first act with me. Then I blocked Nathan's number, deleted Olivia's message, and kept writing until dawn broke over my new beginning. The network conference room felt too bright, too sterile for the scene unfolding behind its glass walls. Lucas stood at the whiteboard, pitching my screenplay to a room full of executives while I watched their faces for reactions. Every nod, every scribbled note, every shared glance felt like another nail in Nathan's coffin. It's raw, the development executive said, tapping her pen against my script. The protagonist's anger feels personal. That's what makes it compelling, Lucas answered before I could. It's authentic. That word again. I suppressed a laugh. We'd need to change some details, another exec said. Legal considerations. Of course, I smiled, the same smile I'd practiced in community theater decades ago. I'm open to suggestions. The meeting ended with handshakes and promises of contracts. As we walked to the elevator, Lucas grabbed my arm. They're going to fast-track it. This could air within months. Good. Val, wait. He pulled me aside. Nathan called me this morning. He knows about the meeting. The elevator dinged. Empty. We stepped inside. How? Olivia. She's friends with someone in development. Lucas pressed the lobby button. They're both worried about what you're writing. They should be. He's threatening to sue. Says he can prove it's about him, that it will destroy his chance at the cable series. I watched the floor numbers descend. Funny how he's more worried about his career than his marriage. This isn't just about Nathan anymore. If he sues, the network will pull out. Your chance at writing again? My phone buzzed. Megan. Dad's at the house. He's packing your scripts. The elevator stopped. Wrong floor. The doors opened to reveal Olivia Turner. She stepped in, pressing herself against the opposite wall. Younger in person. Beautiful in that careful way that required constant maintenance. She wore the same shade of lipstick from Nathan's Instagram photos. Valeria, she said quietly, I tried to reach you. I know. Lucas shifted uncomfortably between us as the elevator resumed its descent. It's not what you think, Olivia continued. Nathan and I, save it for your performance. I checked my phone again. Megan, he's in your office. What should I do? The elevator reached the lobby. As I stepped out, Olivia called after me. He never loved me. It was always you. I turned back. That's the problem. He never loved me enough to be honest. Val, Lucas started. I need to go. I was already walking away. Nathan's at my house. Don't do anything. Stupid? I laughed. Too late. I drove home in a daze, remembering the first play Nathan and I did together. He'd been so genuine then, so raw with talent and dreams. When had that changed? When had we both started performing instead of living? Nathan's car sat in our driveway. Inside, I found him in my office, surrounded by scattered papers. Early drafts of my screenplay, notes, character sketches. You can't do this, he said without looking up. You'll ruin everything. You already did that. He held up a page. Is this how you see me? A narcissist who trades authenticity for applause? If the description fits. Mom, Megan appeared in the doorway. I tried to stop him. It's okay, honey. I kept my eyes on Nathan. Your father was just leaving. Not without these. He gathered the papers. I'm taking them to my lawyer. Those are copies. I smiled, thinking of the final draft safely stored in multiple cloud accounts. The real script is already with the network. Signed, sealed, and in development. He froze. You're bluffing. Am I? You taught me well, Nathan. About performing, about timing, about waiting for the perfect moment to deliver the killing line. This isn't one of your plays. No, I agreed. It's better, because this time, I'm writing the ending. He stood, papers crumpling in his fists. I'll stop you. Like you stopped Olivia from coming to the network meeting today? I watched his face pale. She sends her regards, by the way. Something about how you never really loved her. Megan made a small sound. Nathan turned to her, reaching out, but she backed away. Princess, don't. She moved to stand beside me. Just don't. Nathan looked between us, his actor's composure cracking. Without another word, he dropped the papers and left. The front door slammed. His car started. Megan picked up one of the scattered pages. Scene 4. A daughter realizes her father's greatest performance was being a father at all. We can change that line, I said softly. No. She handed me the page. It's perfect. It's authentic. I took the paper, thinking of contracts and lawyers and consequences. But for the first time in 20 years, I felt real. Unscripted. Free. Opening night of Betrayal at the community theater. I sat in the back row, watching my husband perform opposite his mistress, speaking lines about infidelity and deception while the audience leaned forward in their seats, oblivious to the real drama unfolding before them. My phone vibrated. Lucas. Network lawyers want to meet. Tomorrow. It's urgent. Another message from my corporate boss, Pauline. Need to discuss your extended leave request. HR involvement likely. Then Megan. Dad's lawyer called. Says you have to stop the project or they'll take everything. The irony of watching Nathan perform this particular play wasn't lost on me. Harold Pinter would have appreciated the layers of betrayal happening on and off stage. I certainly did. During intermission, I slipped backstage, muscle memory guiding me through the familiar corridors. Nathan's dressing room door stood ajar. Inside, Olivia perched on his makeup counter while he paced. They can't prove it's about us, she was saying. It's just a story. You don't know, Val, Nathan replied. Every detail will be perfect, every accusation crafted to... He stopped when he saw me. What are you doing here? Supporting local theater. I leaned against the doorframe. Brilliant performance, by the way. Both of you. The scene where Emma confesses her affair? Almost believed it. Olivia slid off the counter. I should stay. I smiled. This concerns you too. The network loves the script, by the way. Especially the part where the younger actress realizes she's just another stepping stone in an aging actor's desperate grab at relevance. You vindictive bitch, Nathan snarled, dropping his cultivated stage voice. You think you can just destroy everything I've built? Everything we built, I corrected. Or did you forget who paid for your first headshots? Who covered the mortgage while you did unpaid theater work? Who raised your daughter while you chased fame? Mom? I turned. Megan stood in the hallway, still wearing her theater volunteer badge. Her face was pale, makeup streaked with tears. Honey, Nathan started. Don't. She looked past him to Olivia. I trusted you. You said you were helping him with character work, that all those private rehearsals were necessary. Megan, it's complicated, Olivia tried. No, it's not. Megan's voice cracked. It's actually really simple. You're both liars. A stagehand appeared. 5 minutes to places. Nathan reached for his daughter, but she backed away. Princess, please, stop acting, Megan shouted. Heads turned in the hallway. Just stop! For once in your life, be real! She ran. Nathan moved to follow, but I blocked him. You have a show to finish! Isn't that what matters most? This isn't over, he growled. My lawyer will... Sue me? Expose me? Go ahead. I stepped closer. But remember who taught me about timing, about building tension, about waiting for the perfect moment to deliver the killing blow. You made me a better writer, Nathan. Every lie, every betrayal, every moment of gaslighting. It's all there in the script. Your greatest performance. Preserved forever. The stagehand called again. Nathan's jaw clenched. You'll lose everything. I already did. I turned to leave, then paused. Break a leg. Again. I mean that literally. Outside, I found Megan in my car, sobbing. I slid into the driver's seat but didn't start the engine. I posted about it, she whispered. The truth. About Dad and Olivia, about your script, everything. My phone started buzzing with notifications. Local theater groups, Nathan's fan pages, entertainment blogs, all lighting up with the story. I'm sorry, Megan said. I just couldn't watch them pretend anymore. I pulled her close, feeling her tears soak my shoulder. Through the windshield, I watched the theater's marquee lights blink against the darkening sky. 20 years ago, Nathan and I had kissed under those lights, both of us dreaming of bigger stages, brighter futures. My phone kept buzzing. Lucas, the network, lawyers, reporters, all wanting answers, explanations, statements. The story was breaking, but not the way I'd planned. Not through my carefully crafted screenplay, but through my daughter's raw, unfiltered truth. I started the car. Sometimes the best revenge isn't the one you plan. Sometimes it's the one that happens when you finally stop performing and let the truth speak for itself. Let's go home, I said. The real show's about to begin. The network executives sat around the conference table, my screenplay spread before them like evidence at a trial. Nathan's lawyer stood at the window, his reflection a dark smudge against the city skyline. Lucas hadn't shown up. "Mrs. Martin," the lawyer said, "my client is willing to be generous despite your creative interpretation of events." I traced the title page of my script. Generous how? Full ownership of the house, a substantial settlement. All he asks is that you shelve the screenplay. The head executive, Sarah Chen, cleared her throat. "Given the legal complications, we're considering postponing development." "You can't." I pulled out my phone, opened Megan's viral post. The story's already out there. 3 million views since last night. Every major entertainment blog is running with it. "Which is why," the lawyer interjected, "we need to contain this quickly." The conference room door opened. Nathan walked in, followed by Olivia. He'd aged overnight, his carefully maintained appearance cracking around the edges. No makeup could hide the defeat in his eyes. "Val," he said softly, "please." "The network's offering 7 figures, Sarah said, "for exclusive rights. We'll bury it. Everyone saves face." I looked at Olivia, who wouldn't meet my eyes. "Nothing to add? No more performances to give?" "I never meant," she started. "To get caught? To become part of someone else's story instead of the star of your own?" I stood. Neither did I. But here we are. "Think about Megan," Nathan pleaded. "I am thinking about Megan. About what you taught her about truth, about authenticity, about..." The door opened again. Lucas entered, followed by Pauline Carter, my corporate boss. "Sorry we're late," Lucas said. "Had to pick up your biggest fan." Pauline strode to the table, her heels clicking like punctuation marks. "I just read the script, all of it, including the parts about the corporate wife who enables her husband's dreams while suppressing her own." She turned to Sarah. "If you don't produce this, we will." "You don't have the rights," Nathan's lawyer started. "Actually," Lucas pulled out a document. "We do. Valeria signed with my production company last night, and Pauline's media conglomerate just acquired us." Nathan slumped in his chair. "You planned this." "No," I smiled. "That's the beauty of it. Sometimes the truth creates its own momentum. Like your performance last night, the one you couldn't finish because the audience started reading Megan's post mid-show. Art imitating life, imitating art." "The settlement offer stands," his lawyer insisted. "Counteroffer." I opened my laptop, turned it toward them. "I just finished the final scene. Want to hear it?" Nobody spoke. I read anyway. Interior. Conference room. Day. A woman faces the people who tried to silence her story. She realizes that revenge isn't about destroying someone else's narrative. It's about finally telling your own. "That's it?" Olivia asked. "That's it. No dramatic confrontations, no public humiliation, just the truth, finally spoken aloud." I closed the laptop. "The rest is up to the audience." "You'll regret this," Nathan said, but his voice lacked conviction. "Maybe, but I regret the last 20 years more." I gathered my things. "Pauline, Lucas, shall we discuss production schedules?" As we left, Sarah called out, "What about the network deal?" I paused at the door. "Submit a bid like everyone else. I hear there's quite a bidding war starting. Something about authenticity being very marketable these days." In the elevator, Pauline squeezed my arm. "You know what impressed me most? That scene where the wife realizes her corporate job wasn't a compromise. It was preparation. Learning to navigate power plays, to recognize manipulation, to stand her ground. I had a good teacher. You had good material." Lucas grinned. "Though I still think we should end with the theater scene." "No!" I watched the numbers descend. "Let the audience write their own ending. That's what Nathan never understood. The best stories don't tell people what to think. They make them feel what's true." My phone buzzed. Megan. "Dad's moving out. Can we order pizza and work on my college applications? I'm thinking of majoring in creative writing." I showed the message to Lucas and Pauline. They both nodded, understanding. Now that, I said, is what I call a satisfying third act. The elevator doors opened to a lobby full of reporters. Time for one final performance. This time, as myself. The premiere screening room hummed with anticipation. My screenplay, authentic performance, filled the screen while critics and industry executives whispered in the darkness. In the back row, Megan squeezed my hand as the final scene played out. On screen, the wife confronted her husband not with rage or accusations, but with silence. The kind that forces people to fill it with truth. Just like I'd done in real life. The lights came up. Applause erupted. But I watched Nathan's empty seat in the third row. He'd received an invitation but chosen not to come. His latest Instagram post showed him at a regional theater in Ohio, playing Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman. Fitting. Mom? Megan nodded toward the exit where Olivia stood, looking uncertain. Go ahead, I said to Lucas and Pauline. We'll meet you at the reception. Olivia approached as the room emptied. She'd lost the careful polish I remembered, looked younger somehow. More real. I didn't expect to be written so fairly, she said. The truth was dramatic enough without embellishment. Nathan called me yesterday, asked me to tell you he's sorry. Of course he did, I smiled. Still casting others in his scenes? He's different now, smaller somehow. That's what happens when you step out of the spotlight and into yourself. Megan stood. We should go. The critics will want interviews. Olivia touched my arm. For what it's worth, I'm sorry too. Not just for the affair, but for not seeing what he was doing to both of us, making us compete for supporting roles in his story. Keep that insight, I said. It'll make you a better actress. At the reception, champagne flowed while early reviews rolled in. Brutally honest. A masterclass in understated revenge. A meditation on authenticity in an age of performance. Lucas raised his glass. To your next screenplay? Actually, I pulled out my phone, showed him the email I'd received that morning. The theater department at Megan's future college wants me to teach a workshop about writing truth in fiction. Mom's gonna help me adapt my college application essay into a one-act play, Megan added, about watching your heroes become human. Pauline joined us, brandishing her tablet. Social media's exploding. Nathan's trending, but not how he would have wanted. People are sharing their own stories of betrayal and redemption. That's the thing about truth, I said. It echoes. My phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. Watching it now. You made me better than I deserved. I showed Megan the message. She read it, then deleted it. Some performances don't need an encore. Later, walking home through city streets, I remembered that first text I'd found on Nathan's phone, the one that started everything. Can't wait to feel your hands on me again. Last night was magical. Love you. Such simple words, such devastating power, like the words I'd written in response, scenes and dialogue that had transformed my pain into purpose. What are you thinking about? Megan asked. The difference between revenge and justice. And? Revenge is what we imagine will heal us. Justice is what actually does. She linked her arm through mine. Is that why you didn't destroy him completely? You could have made him the villain. The best stories don't have villains, I said. Just people failing to be their best selves, sometimes spectacularly. We reached our front door. Through the window, I could see my laptop on the coffee table, waiting. Another screenplay taking shape in my mind, this one about mothers and daughters and the stories we inherit. Ready to work on that one act? I asked. Megan grinned. Only if you promise to be honest about how you really felt. No performing. Deal. I opened the door to our house, our future, our truth. Though sometimes the most authentic thing we can do is admit we're still rehearsing. The night air carried the faint sound of applause from the reception. But I was already thinking about tomorrow's scenes, tomorrow's words, tomorrow's truths. Some stories end with revenge, others with redemption. The best ones end with possibility. The next act waiting in the wings, raw and real and ready to begin.